Alright everyone, it has been a long time coming for my Precious Controverse Holds. You all know that I have done quite a few builds on the Voidlock with what I believe was the best exotic for endgame content. We're talking Master and Grandmaster content, so 20 or 25 power level under. Well, in the gameplay you're watching right now, we are 24 power level under, so Grandmaster Difficulty here, and just watch how easy we make this look. I think this is the best endgame Void Warlock build now in Destiny 2 moving forward, and I hate to put my Precious Controverse Holds aside, but I can't argue with the end results that I get when I run this build and this setup. Now, it's one of the easiest builds you will ever play, but it also is very powerful because it locks down rooms of enemies even with champions, and we can actually survive while doing this. I really pride myself in bringing you guys all builds that excel in endgame content, and that is why I always show them with champions, to give you a better understanding of what's possible when you push further into the game. So I am super excited to share this one with you all, and I hope you give it a try. Just to show you some of the boxes that this entire build ticks, it has infinite strong vortex grenades and infinite strong void souls. We also get to use all three aspects on the Void Warlock, which makes it even more powerful. And to top it off, we get unlimited weakening debuff to every single enemy we come up against, and your entire fire team will benefit from this as well. We get unlimited devour for that full heal on every kill, unlimited void overshields to beef us up even more with that extra damage reduction, and then a great supply of volatile rounds as well for endless purple explosions. And we're doing this all solo, so with a fire team this would be even better to kill champions quicker and whatnot. So hopefully I've made my point clear on why I think you need to set this build up and try it, because you just might not ever take it off again. I'm sorry Controverse Holds, but I'll see you guys later. Now, our star of the show is Child of the Old Gods aspect. This is when we cast that rift, we create that void soul, we shoot a target, and it flies forward and damages and weakens that target. Now, the void soul has a big area of effect radius, which is great, and I mean big, and it also damages enemies and weakens them. So it's going to weaken everything that it touches. Now, when a target is being drained, you are granted grenade and melee energy. So this is how we can keep our grenade up all the time. And that Void Soul is always draining things in difficult content because enemies have more health. And then our last part here is defeating a target who is being drained by your Void Soul grants class ability energy. So this is how we keep that class ability energy up all the time. Now, our Void Soul is going to last about 20 seconds with our exotic. So we're easily draining things for that grenade energy, and we're easily defeating them for the rift energy. So it's a very strong aspect when we pair it with our exotic because it's just going to feed everything for us. Our second aspect is actually Chaos Accelerant. We're going to pair this with Vortex Grenades to overcharge our grenades and increase the size and linger duration of the Vortex Grenade. So that's our two aspects, and for our first fragment, we're going to take Echo of Starvation. Picking up a Void Breach or an Orb of Power grants Devour. So this is just like the aspect Devour, but instead we're taking it as a fragment. So now we have all three aspects working within this build as one. And that Devour gives us a full heal on kill, and also gives us grenade energy on kill, which just combines with the Void Soul while it's draining things to give us even more grenade energy. Next, we're going to take Echo of Harvest. Defeating weakened targets creates an Orb of Power and a Void Breach. Now this plays right into our first fragment because this is how we're going to proc our Devour. And those Void Breaches gives us a nice chunk to our class ability energy. So another way that we're just going to feed our class ability energy. And you're going to be creating so many orbs of power because we're going to have a bunch of other ways to do this, and Echo of Harvest just adds to it. Sometimes in the gameplay, you're going to see 3 orbs of power drop instantly. For our last two fragments, we're going to take Echo of Instability. Defeating targets with grenades grants volatile rounds to all of our void weapons. This is just a nice bonus, and I suggest using this because you do want void weapons, and I'll talk about that in a second and why we want them. And for our last one, it's up to you on your last fragment, but I really like Echo of Persistence here. It makes that Devour last 15 seconds instead of 10, just in case you're dealing with a champion or a high health target, you have time to kill it to still keep Devour up at all times. And it also makes our Overshield last longer, which is very nice. For your grenade, obviously taking Vortex Grenade to pair with Chaos Accelerant, and we're going to take Healing Rift. Now, as far as your weapons go, we do want to take Void Weapons to play into Echo of Instability, but you also want something with Repulsor Brace. In the gameplay, you see me using the Commemoration Heavy Machine Gun a lot. Mine's actually weapon level, I think, 172. That's how much I've used it. But that Repulsor Brace is how we get that Void Overshield. That's a 45 HP Overshield and has that, 50% damage reduction on it. So we really want to have these Void Overshields and take advantage of Repulsor Brace because our Child of the Old God is always attached to enemies and applying the weakening debuff. So even if you don't have volatile rounds up, you're still going to get Void Overshields because you're killing the weakened targets from your Void Souls. And as you see in the gameplay, we have 2 or 3 Void Souls out all the time. So you are always shooting weakened targets. And this goes for your fire team as well. Let's say you have a teammate that's on a different subclass. if they throw on something with Repulsor Brace, they're going to get those Void Overshields off killing those weakened targets as well. Next, let's talk about our exotic, and that is the new one this season called Briar Binds. This is the new exotic gauntlets for the Warlock, and the perk here is One with the Void. Great name, by the way, Bungie. Your Void Souls have a longer duration, so that's what makes them last up to 20 seconds now. They also gain escalating damage and durability as they defeat targets. You can retrieve your Void Soul by interacting with them, allowing them to be redeployable. And this is really cool because every time you pick one up and redeploy it, it resets the 20-second countdown timer, which is why we can have so many out at one time. Also, if your Void Soul kills things, and you pick it up and redeploy it, it retains that damage and the damage reduction of it from those kills when it's redeployed again. So after it kills 5 things, it actually gets 100% damage increase. That's when you see those ticks for about 2300 in this lost sector. But the whole point here is that you can pick up a Void Soul 20 seconds later and redeploy it, but you'll have your Rift energy back from all of our mods and how we're making this build work from the subclass, as you can see in the gameplay, so you can get 2 or 3 out of these at once. I think Bungie really knocked it out of the park with this exotic, and I can't praise them enough for this exotic because it's one of the best I've seen in the game in a long time. And it's a fun playstyle as well, which really helps out. We're actually going to take some weapon damage on the mods for this build because we don't really need ability energy because we're getting it all back from the Void Soul that's giving us grenade energy back when it drains things and giving us Rift energy back when we just defeat targets. We're picking up Void Breaches to get Rift energy back. We're killing things and we have Devour proc to get grenade energy back, and the Orbs of Power are still feeding our class ability as well. So on our helmet, we're going to take Ashes to Assets to get bonus super energy on those grenade kills because we're going to be getting those a lot. And then you can take the Void and Strand dual siphon mod from the artifacts so we can get double kills and spawn Orbs of Power from those Void kills. On our gauntlets, you're going to take Firepower to create an Orb of Power when your grenade kills something, which is going to be very often. And then you can take 2 bolstering detonations to give us class ability energy when our grenade hits something. This is just to feed that class ability and make sure we always have it up. On our chest piece, take whatever resistance you need to match whatever activity you're doing, and then I actually ran 2 harmonic reserves, so 2 void reserves for that heavy machine gun to keep up my ammo as much as possible. And then on my boots, I ran 2 void weapon surges to give me that 17% damage bonus all the time, basically. This is really nice on our heavy machine gun to help chew through those champions. Also, there was no void burn in this lost sector, so this could be like 25% stronger. We're also going to take insulation on our boots, reduce class ability cooldown each time you pick up an orb of power, just to make sure we get that Void Soul coming back. And then on our class item, you're going to take a Reaper, so after we pop that rift and we kill something, that generates an orb of power for us. And then we're going to take Time Dilation as our last one. This extends those armor charges for 15 seconds instead of 10, and just means when we pick up those orbs of power, we'll have a total of 45 seconds with 3 charges to do extra damage to champions or bosses when we might not have an orb of power available. For your stats on the build, again, 100 resilience and then discipline and recovery. But really, resilience is the main thing here because you don't need discipline because you're getting that back anyways, and you don't really need recover because you have Devour, Overshields, and your Rift comes back so fast. So I really hope you guys give this one a shot, and I hope you enjoy it because it's some of the most fun I've had in a while on a Void Warlock